A 990 UG LSD trip report, uploaded to Reddit 5 years ago by Bob Nerd. I am 19 years old, 75 kilograms, and male. 7 days before I drop, I stopped drinking all coffee and energy drinks. I didn't watch any news, as it's probably not the best idea to have your mind filled with anxiety about terrorism and everything that is wrong with the world going into a trip. I also cut out TV series, movies, and cut all contact to toxic people in my life. I also started to study a lot about Buddhism. I read 2 books from Alan Watts, one from Eckhart Tolle, and read about all kinds of yogis, mystics, and other spiritual people and their experiences. 2 days beforehand, I got a few snacks, including peaches, ice cream, some sweets, and salt crackers. 9 hours beforehand. I have slept a bit before, but I decided to take another nap to have more mental energy during the trip. 6 hours beforehand. I have a light meal, including some fruit juice and cereal with lactose-free milk, because I'm not about having a tummy full of air for a trip. 3 hours beforehand. I do all my chores and get everything out of the way that could distract me during the trip. Also, I get my snacks ready and cut the peaches in smaller parts. 1 hour beforehand. I start putting on some really relaxing music and go into a somewhat meditative chill mode. 10 minutes beforehand. I do some light stretching and move a bit around since I'm not planning to move for a while after that. 0 hours. The drop. I had 4 by 220 UG and 1 by 110 UG tabs, and these were high quality and tested by a friend who had the same batch. 5 minutes in. I take a pic and post it on Reddit. Also, the dissolving paper leaves a somewhat disgusting texture in my mouth. 20 minutes. Till now I have chilled on Reddit and got comfy in my bed. Note that I spent the whole trip on my bed. The tabs got somewhat annoying, so I decided to flush them down with some water. Weirdly, I already noticed some effects. From one moment to another I notice how it feels like I'm sinking deeper and deeper into my bed, although I'm not moving at all. 30 minutes. After looking at my wall for a few seconds, suddenly all the small dots on it, it's got those weird little pimples on it, turned into pictures, and I saw an ancient Buddhist temple in a forest. Not in colours or like an actual picture, just that the dots formed the outlines. 1 hour. I should note that those times have been pretty accurate till now, but at this point I'm starting to lose all sense of time, so from now on there will be rough estimates by me. At this point I feel it really intensely. All my senses are getting very strange. I can hear very far away conversations from the outside. Everything feels extremely soft, including the wall, and my vision begins to start splitting stuff into their base colours, which was very odd. 1 hour and 10 minutes. I'm taking another sip of water to get that taste of cardboard out of my mouth and go into meditation. Almost immediately after closing my eyes, I go into a trance, and hundreds of thoughts come up. I can't remember even 5% of them thoughts, but I know that some have been pretty amazing insights. I also do remember how sitting there with my eyes closed, no music playing anymore, I could mentally start to turn on any song and it sounded real. I even listened to a very complicated classical piece in which I could tweak every instrument and it sounded amazing. 3 hours. I get out of the trance, open my eyes, and I'm completely lost. I have no idea where I am. After sitting there for 10 minutes, I realised that I took a drug and that I'm in my room. That helped me calm down a bit, but I still felt like I was going insane. Literally. My whole paradigm of what reality is didn't exist anymore. I tried to come up with a new map of reality, but after finding one, I almost immediately lost it. I know this probably doesn't make sense to a lot of you, but maybe some experienced trippers will know what I mean. I realised that there was nothing wrong with what was happening, and I stopped looking for answers, which turned out to be the 100% best decision I could have made. After I stopped gripping to reality, an extremely pleasant feeling of relief hit me. I had no worries, and didn't see my physical body as myself. I think the Buddha once said, "No self, no problem." And at this point, the concept of a self or an ego made zero sense to me, and I decided to go back into meditation. 4 hours in. This is where stuff gets pretty insane. I started not having just closed eye visuals. I could see through my closed eyes. I should note at this point that I was somehow able to keep my mind blank for some time now, and I kid you not, it felt like I was sitting there for 3 to 5 days. During that time, I felt like I was experiencing what Buddhists would probably call dhyana. After that, so much stuff happened that I could write a book about it. I'm going to tell you only about the highlights though, since this is already long as fuck. Got extremely spiritual. I kinda struggled to meditate, and there were these enlightened masters around me who were extremely calm and told me how to have peace of mind. I pretty much just had to follow their lead. I started to think that I am now going to experience the universe. And by universe, I mean every single atom, every plant, every human life, just everything possible. I was somewhat excited for that journey, but I asked the enlightened master how long it will take, and he said that he was doing this for around 200 years now and is at roughly 1%, which is pretty impressive. I mean, 1% out of infinity is still infinity, right? Anyways, I asked if there isn't a quicker way, and he smiled at me and brought me to the Buddha. The enlightened master told me that Buddha has experienced every kind of pleasure and every kind of pain in this world. I was thinking, whoa, every kind of pain. But this motherfucker had the biggest grin on his face I've ever seen. So the Buddha guided me to a bunker-like dam with a very big door. So I stood there alone in front of the door, and before I could knock, a giant ghost-like spirit person that looked somewhat like this image opened the door. I asked what this place was, and he told me with a big compassionate smile that this is the library of all knowledge, and so he guided me to the books of knowledge. Me being a small as fuck human being, and this library being gigantic, the spirit quickly gave me the ability to fly. He opened the book, and it hit me. Enlightenment. I have seen all beauty in life. Now, I have no idea how to explain this feeling or experience. The book just answered all my questions and made everything clear, and I realised that everything is the way it should be. I also could be completely wrong, to be honest, but in that moment it sure as hell felt like being enlightened, and I also had the feeling that this experience would last, which it didn't over the long term. But anyways, this book gave me the ability to teleport to any location on the planet, experience the world how it really is, not through our senses, which by the way was a lot of extremely powerful and colourful energies, and there were only structures, no individual objects. Also, what I want to mention is that this spirit looked at me with the greatest compassion and love and acceptance I have ever received, and I asked the spirit how I achieve a spiritually successful life. The spirit replied with, "Just look at all the signs around you. United States, European Union, United Nations, Wi-Fi connection." Lamau, I swear while tripping this sounded like a very deep insight. Well, what do I know? Maybe it is, lol. T plus 7 hours. I get out of my meditation and notice how the effects are declining, although still tripping pretty hard. I notice that I'm getting somewhat hungry, and I start eating the peaches. More of that later, lol. After that, I take some notes of what has happened on a piece of paper, and I notice how the letters and lines are dancing all around. After that, I go back into meditation and listen to the birds tweet. It's early in the morning by now. Far away, I hear some kind of generator running. No idea for what. In my mind, it sounds like a stock exchange with sounds. Each sound source is trading its sounds to another one, and they're kind of arguing about the price. I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense. T plus 9 hours. I open my eyes and puke. Fuck. I puked in my newly bought sweater, and some of it got on my bed. Oh well, time to clean it up. What's notable though, is that I'm pretty sure that the drug itself didn't make me puke. It's the fact that I didn't chew the peaches. At this point I remember that I just swallowed them one after another. Might well, at least all that came out is some water and pieces of peaches. It didn't even smell bad. So I get a ton of paper towels, try to get everything dry and put my sweater into the shower, wash it off and leave it there. To get rid of the stomach acid taste though, I get some ice cream from downstairs, and what I realise at this point is that I'm still tripping a lot. I've still got insane visuals, like seeing the floor tiles swim around, but at this point I kinda just accepted weird ass visuals as my new reality. From hour 9 to 13, I felt like I was on a 200 to 400 UG trip, but my mind didn't care that much. I couldn't think about anything else other than the fact that I'd just met Buddha, etc. And after being that spaced out, 200 UG felt like a bike ride compared to being strapped to a spaceship. 13 hours. Visuals pretty much stopped at this point, but I still had that focused look and saw a few brighter colours. My pupils were still huge though. During the whole day till now, I felt like I was on a microdose of LSD. Thanks to everyone sending good vibes. I know this is kinda messy, and this is my first trip report, but the trip was pretty messy as well, so I guess it fits.